Brexit. Britain appears to be struggling when it comes to banning EU products, with the government grappling with WTO rules, as taking back control fails to prove the slogan is as simple as it seems. Prime Minister Boris Johnson now has to consider dealing directly with World Trade Organization (WTO) limitations, which are making some government ambitions on animal welfare more difficult, or at least be used as an excuse to avoid weakening the UK negotiating leverage in trade deals. Nicholas Lockhart, an expert in international trade law speaking on the topic, said, "The WTO has 165+ members. All WTO members would regard themselves as running their own independent trade policies, but they do that within a community of nations that have agreed to a certain set of baseline rules." Whether ministers can give in to the demands of animal rights campaigners when it comes to trade is a live debate. Food and farming departments had proposed new legal structures to fast-track import bans on products made abroad to low animal welfare standards. The newfound autonomy would have given ministers power to impose bans on specific products without a vote in Parliament. The Department for International Trade blocked the proposal, with then Trade Minister Liz Truss said to have feared taking items off the table would reduce the negotiating leverage of the government. One official explained the thinking: if the other side gets a sense of what our negotiating parameters are, it gives them an immediate advantage. Experts argue the proposal would have risked new bans being challenged at the WTO. Nations are free to ban products that could pose a risk to human or animal health, assuming the fears have a scientific basis. But to ban a product on moral grounds is harder because meat from a well-treated animal has no material difference to meat from a mistreated animal. To impose a ban based on public morals, as the WTO puts it, nations would have to show the restrictions would not lead to discrimination against other countries, a not to disguised restriction on international trade, and that the problem could not be solved through another route, such as labeling. Speaking to Politico, Mr. Lockhart said such bans are politically sensitive because other nations will bristle at the UK attempting to change their production processes. He said, effectively, what you're trying to do is impose your production standards on third countries. To make it more difficult, a ban could end up discriminating without intending to. If some practices are outlawed in Britain and the UK bans imports not made to the same process, it could block imports from another nation even if its processes are not detrimental to animal welfare. Sir Roger Gale, Conservative MP for North Thanet in Margate, said, "One of the very few benefits of leaving the European Union was that we could get a handle on this." However, the veteran MP also questioned whether the UK would breach WTP rules by selecting certain products to ban. He said, "It's certainly used as an argument that we would fall foul of WTO rules. I'm not sure that's true." adding that animal rights should take precedence over WTO rules. Lorraine Platt, a founder of the conservative Animal Welfare Foundation, said, "We should be prepared to fight for what we believe is right. History will judge us. We have to be brave and we have to be ambitious." The UK is yet to ban any imports on purely animal welfare grounds, although it has committed to a block on foie gras and is encouraging chefs to turn to vegan options. Some in government argue other nations have set a precedent for product bans on animal welfare grounds, and that the UK should push forward and fight WTO challenges where needed. The EU bans imports of meat slaughtered in a way that doesn't meet its welfare at slaughter standards, for example. One route to improving animal welfare through trade is via free trade deals. In the agreements with Australia and New Zealand, the UK agreed to maintain high animal welfare standards. A spokesperson for the Department for International Trade said the UK was a global leader in animal welfare, and we share the British public's high regard for maintaining our high standards.